And that was when I had changed the mindset of like, okay, I had talked to back to the question you had asked. The turning point for me, when I didn't want to quit, when I wanted to see, like when I was really like, okay, how am I going to be a better person? How am I going to become emotionally mature? That was when I was broken down on the side where I really felt like nothing, and I realized I had a support system through Coach Coleman. And that is what really saved me from quitting football altogether, was knowing that I have a coach in my defensive line room that actually cares about me. He genuinely wants me to succeed, and I'll do everything for him. You know, I'm not bought on the team just yet, but I'm gonna do everything right so I can play for this man. That was my come to Jesus moment, so to speak. And so ended up playing the rest of that year. And from then it was just like, I never got back in the coach's great graces, but I was good enough, you know, like I was cool with him, but I still had that resentment towards the head coach of like, you know, you did me wrong, so to speak, even though I brought everything that happened upon myself. So I really got myself into the doghouse with Coach Collins and them, and ended up just like, you know, going into camp just like third string. Like they didn't like me. I felt like they were planning to like get me off the team or whatnot. You know, coaches were trying to push you out or whatever. But I did really well during camp. And at the end of camp, I ended up doing, at the end of camp, we had like our scrimmage in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And I finished up with like 3 sacks there, really good camp. And something happened with me afterwards that ended up hindering me from being able to play the first game. And so I got suspended from the first game against Clemson, and it was completely my fault. I did something stupid and nothing crazy, not break the law or anything, you know, but just something that is just dumb. Like, you're just like, why would you?
Just an undisciplined moment.
Just undisciplined moment. And it ended up getting back to the coaches, and the coaches talked to me about it, and they were like, you know what, you're not playing the first game against Clemson. You're sitting down.
The B2S Podcast is brought to you by Motivated Apparel. Motivated Apparel, the premier gear for motivation. A brand that motivates, inspires, and empowers you to stay motivated while chasing your dreams. Head on over to www.shiftmotivations.com/shop motivated apparel and grab yourself some motivated apparel today.
It's crazy you say that. So this is my question, right? I noticed in high school you were saying you almost quit. And then you got taught back into get to the college level. You almost quit. What was that reset mentally that clicked with you that was like, I'm not going back to that same mindset, that same mindset, so that same pattern. You know what I'm saying?
So that, yes, I understand. So the red shirt, the crazy thing, the story about the red shirt, that wasn't when I was going to quit. So what happened was Coach Johnson had ended up leaving, and we got a new coach in, Coach Collins, and Coach Jeff Collins. And he came in during our spring of 2019. So I only got Coach Johnson for about half a year. They cleared house, ended up bringing in a whole new people and everything. And that first spring, I was doing great. I was the poster boy of effort. I'm one of those dudes that's like the Energizer Bunny. I can run forever. I love to lift. You can call anybody and ask me. Like, I was the Energizer Bunny. Like, you could not stop me from moving. Like, that's all I did was just run. That was one thing I was known for, was running. And it was like, I got called out for it. Like, I was a really good dude. Like, I have a lot of like photos in my archives and whatnot of just like little things they would do to like show like, okay, who's doing what and who's doing this. And I was in there a few times, and I was like, okay, you know, I'm showing my face. The spring game of that year had about 2.5 sacks, was doing well. They ended up actually putting me on the second string. I was starting the whole of spring, and they put me on the second string just to have me go against the first string and just see how like I would do on the opposite side of the ball. And they gauged it to see like, because at first I wanted to be a linebacker. And I say this all the time, like I wanted to be a linebacker. I wasn't really fully committed to the team because they tried to move me back to defensive end. And I'm like, I want to be a linebacker. So that was another thing too. I wasn't mentally all the way there. Like I was loving like spring because I was playing linebacker too and defensive end. But during that transition into the summer, they moved me more into a defensive end role. And a lot of things happened before, like right after the spring game. So I ended up, during spring, I would get sick a lot. And it was because my tonsils would flare up. And so they ended up taking out my tonsils and everything. And during that recovery process, I lost a whole bunch of weight, lost a whole bunch of stuff. And like my mindset suffered. Like I was about 240 at the time. I was looking good. I felt good. And at the time, I dropped all the way to like 198 at one point.
Wow.
And this is in 2 weeks. You know, it was bad. It was bad. Like it was bad. I couldn't drink. Like it was bad. Like the surgery took it out of me. I couldn't drink. I couldn't eat. I couldn't get any water in my throat. Like I would wake up. A lot of people know, like you would wake up and like your throat would be on fire. Like you would be hurting. It would be bad. So just coming back off of that definitely messed with my head and my mindset to where I basically almost reverted back to when I was like in high school, where I'm dealing with all this stuff again. And then going into summer workouts, I'm not doing what I was doing in spring. I'm not running these distances. I'm not lifting. I could barely lift 135. You know, I could barely lift the bar. It was bad. And so I had to get on this dietary plan, and it was taking me forever. And I felt like everybody was against me because, like, a lot of people were, I had a lot of, like, internal issues I was struggling with because, like, I know what I'm capable of. I know what I've done. I know what I was doing. And now that I can't do that, it's starting to get to me. And everybody that's really pushing me on that, hey, be better, do this, do that. I didn't feel that. I felt like, oh, be better, you try. Like that was the kind of thing I was feeling. Like I felt like everybody was attacking me and was against me and everything. Because one of the things back then too, the way I felt is if you had a problem, like not a problem, but like if you wanted me to do something, you wanted to try and encourage me, just come talk to me. Just be like, hey, you slacking, pick it up. Cool, get your hands off your hips, give them a little slap. All right, cool. You feel me? You don't need to be this rah-rah, oh, go do this, go do that. Like, and a lot of people don't understand that. And that's what I'm like happy with a lot of coaches. A lot of coaches are now starting to understand that, and I feel like those are the ones that really develop to understand how a kid is best coached, how are their best coach. So, and that's one thing I'm about to get to with that.
I say that all the time.
You like some people are good with the rah-rah yelling, yell at me. I got you, coach. We good. Some people aren't. I got used to both after a while, but at the time it just felt like everybody was against me. Everybody was rushing me and everything. So I really got myself into the doghouse with Coach Collins and them, and ended up just like, you know, going into camp just like third string. Like they didn't like me. I felt like they were planning to like get me off the team or whatnot. You know, how coaches will try to push you out or whatever. But I did really well during camp. And at the end of camp, I ended up doing, at the end of camp, we had like our scrimmage in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And I finished up with like 3 sacks there, really good camp. And something happened with me afterwards that ended up hindering me from being able to play the first game. And so I got suspended from the first game against Clemson. And it was completely my fault. I did something stupid and nothing crazy, not break the law or anything, you know, but just something that is just dumb. Like, you're just like, why would you
just had an undisciplined moment?
Just undisciplined moment. And it ended up getting back to the coaches, and the coaches talked to me about it. And they were like, you know what? You're not playing the first game against Clemson. You're sitting down. Like, we're not taking you. You're staying at home. All right, cool. Like, at this point, I'm in the mindset of, like, I really, like, after everything that I'm dealing with, like, the coaches were on my head, and I'm in the mindset of, like, okay, y'all really don't care about me anyway. I don't care, like, if I don't play Clemson. Ended up coming back playing USF. The next week, I missed class. And they ended up saying, oh, you're not going to take the bus with us to the Citadel. Not the Citadel, the hotel, because we played the Citadel that week. And I was like, okay, whatever. So I ended up getting there, and they were like, oh, ended up dressing out for the Citadel game, never played. And during the Citadel game, I ended up getting kicked off the sideline because nothing, like, it's crazy, but it's not crazy. So our team had a rule Like when our offense is on, we're up and we're cheering for them after we've gotten all through like our plays and everything. Like we've gone through everything. Like get up. Get up.
Before you finish that story, I want you to because that's something we be stressing all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand. Because the athletes that are watching this, right? So I'm gonna let you finish that, but I just had to break that real quick because that's something we tell the team, even because I'm the team chaplain for the football team and the basketball team, and we always constantly telling them, but they just sit there. I'm like, do y'all understand that your team feeds off the energy that you give?
Bring, that you produce.
Yeah.
A lot of things, and that's one thing I will give about Coach Collins. He knew about that. We literally had a team called the Juice Crew. And
I like that. I like that.
So we had a team called the Juice Crew, and that was the boys that were redshirted or medically injured or whatever, and their entire job was to bring energy and life to the sideline. That was their entire job. So they walked up and down the sideline, waving towels, spraying us with water, just messing around, doing their thing, not disrespectful, but just, But so I say that to say this. It's a very important thing to be able to have that juice, that energy on the sideline, because you never know where it could come from.
Right.
A lot of people don't understand some of the most important people don't even play the game. They're the ones that are there to help you. The ones that are the most important people don't even play the game.
Wow.
That's the crazy thing about it. A lot of energy that I knew, I can name one person right now. And when I was at Georgia Tech, Olin Broadway. He was a walk-on linebacker that was good, but he ain't get his opportunity, He was going to school. But when I tell you, every game he's out there yelling his butt off, cheering everybody on, cheering everybody up when we're down. Like when I tell you that man and like his boys that were around him, they were the light on the game. Like during practices, you just hear him just yelling and screaming and he's just hype, And I remember like, gonna skip segue over to another story. When I redshirted, I was on scout team and I was with Olin, and we were doing the triple option at the time with Coach Johnson, and I ended up playing linebacker with Olin. I was on the left, he was on the right, and they did the triple option my left way, and I'm running, and I just see the B-back come around the corner, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I got to take up. He flips me. Remember cutting back then, you could cut outside of the box. He flipped me. They're like, oh, Jordan, you good? You good? I get up. I'm fine. I'm like, yeah. But they's like, go to the sideline. Olin's over there. You just got choked. Just laughing. Just like,
You got knocked up.
Just funny. But I say that to say this, even though I look like I got embarrassed that play, he broke me before I could even say it. He broke me before I could even get upset with myself. He just had me laughing. And that's the thing, those energy bringers, they will definitely help you out throughout the entire season. I say that to say this. During the Citadel game, during the fourth quarter, we were down against the Citadel. The coaches had already given over their game requirements and everything, when they go over to the sideline and they give all their instructions and their adjustments and everything on the defense. Yeah. And so everybody's supposed to be up and, playing. Oh, not playing, but so everybody's supposed to be up and just, bringing energy, bringing juice to the sideline. I had ended up sitting down on the bench because I was just like, okay, I haven't played. I'm annoyed. I'm going to just sit here. And 4 or 5 other people were sitting with me, but they were all around me. So it looked like I was basically the ringleader of it. And so Coach Collins saw that, and he didn't like that. And he had made a huge emphasis on Juice Crew. Everybody's up. Everybody's at it. Everybody's bringing the juice. I wasn't a part of it. Like I said, I wasn't bought into the team all the way. And so, boom, I end up, He ends up telling everybody to get up, telling Scott to get up. And he told his right-hand man, Scott, I want Jordan Domineck off the sideline right now. So I'm like, I heard, I'm like, there's no way he's being serious. Scott walks over to me, hey, you got to go. Huh? Hot-headed me, huh? What you mean I got to go? You said you want you off the sideline. What you mean I'm off the... All right, bet. What up? Crashing out, just annoyed, mad. Walked off. The next Monday I come in. We ended up losing the Citadel game and whatnot. The next Monday I come in. They suspend me from the team indefinitely.
Oh, wow.
But that was just a lot of things that just happened back to back. I was not in the right compound interest. That's exactly what it was. I wasn't in the right mind space. I wasn't in the right mindset. I wasn't bought into the team fully. I wanted to do things my way. And I had to learn I can't do that. So boom, I don't play for about 6 games. And it hurts. You know, you passionate about football and it's taken away from you. And I had to go through a whole bunch of trials and we ain't got that much time left. So I'm, just telling you everything. Like I went through a lot of things just to try to be able to get back onto the field. Like it was to a point where I was told I couldn't play one week and I left the building and I broke down crying outside the building on the side of the road. Like that's how hurt I was that I couldn't play football. Like to the point where my defensive line coach was driving by and he knew what I was going through. And Coach Coleman, great support system for me. Like he helped me through so much. Like Coach Marco Coleman, he's a Georgia Tech. He was a defensive end as well. He is now in the GT Hall of Fame. He was the number 17 pick, I believe, in the 1991, 92 draft. One of the two. Great dude. Definitely helped me through a lot. We butted heads a lot, but seeing what I was going through and how I was feeling, he was truly a real support. Like he was supporting me and he was helping me through exactly what I needed to go through. When my parents weren't there, I had somebody that was actually in my corner. He was you feel me? Like he was an intangible person. And so, boom, I broke down crying on the side, right outside the building, right outside the stadium. And he helped me, he got me up, talked to me, made sure, look, you good? Just keep doing what you're doing. Just get to class on time, be where you go. And the reason I kept just staying suspended was because I wasn't doing the right things. I wasn't in class on time, or I wasn't showing up to place on time, or I was leaving early and, just wanting to do my own thing. And it was just, you can't do it. And I was just a young, dumb, immature, red shirt freshman, just trying to do things my own way, and it didn't work out. So ended up going to play against Miami, because that was the first week I did everything right. And they're like, okay, you know what? You can come, you can play now. So they brought me back to the team. And that Miami game, I remember I had a sack. We won that game. And I played about 15 plays. I had 4 tackles and a sack, I think.
Wow. Good percentage.
I got a question, because even though I'm a male, that don't mean I know sports. You know what I'm saying? I know basketball, football. I know LeBron. You know what I'm saying? I know people around. So, and this question is maybe a stupid question. And Blueprint Nation, don't be laughing at me for this question. What's the difference between a sack and a tackle?
So a sack is when a quarterback is trying to draw back and pass the ball. If you can hit him before he passes the ball or before he passes the line of scrimmage, that's a sack. A tackle is anybody that's just trying to run the ball and they're past the line of scrimmage. A tackle for loss is any tackle that happens behind the line of scrimmage.
I got you. Okay, I got your tempo.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, he not a sports guy.
Nah, you good. So you like my mama. You here for that. You here for the academics. I see.
That's all academics over
there. Let's get to the thought process. I'm on that.
Yeah, my nickname, I call him Dr. Hall.
Let's get there. Another question too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mike.
No, you good. You good.
That's what I'm here for, man.
Which one is okay? Cause when you got parents, you got one loud one. Get him. You got one just be sitting there. So which one is your mom the loud one, or your dad the chill one, or your dad the loud one, or your mom the chill one?
They're both. When it comes to sports, they're both chill. They're both chill.
Okay, both chill.
My dad coached me his entire life, so anything that I do, it really doesn't surprise him.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then my mom was always just the respectful, quiet, just.
Okay.
And the thing is, when I tell you, when my mama was going through her camera phase, when she was just snap. Oh my gosh, that was. Y'all go look on my mama's Facebook right now and just look up the photos. Y'all gonna see so many AAU basketball pictures from years ago. All you heard, I remember there was one time during the basketball tournament, we had the free throw line. Everybody's quiet. All you hear is. All you heard was the camera just clicking, But nah, so back to the story. So Miami, I ended up coming back and playing, and I did really well. And I ended up playing for the rest of the year, and that was when I had changed the mindset of okay, I had talked to back to the question you had asked. The turning point for me, when I didn't want to quit, when I wanted to see. When I was really okay, how am I going to be a better person? How am I going to become emotionally mature? That was when I was broken down on the side of the road. I really felt like nothing, and I realized I had a support system through Coach Coleman. And that is what really saved me from quitting football altogether, was knowing that I have a coach in my defensive line room that actually cares about me. He genuinely wants me to succeed, and I'll do everything for him. You know, I'm not bought on the team just yet, but I'm gonna do everything right so I can play for this man. That was my come to Jesus moment, so to speak. And so ended up playing the rest of that year. And from then it was just like I never got back in the coach's great graces, but I was good enough, you know, like I was cool with him, but I still had that resentment towards the head coach of like, you know, you did me wrong, so to speak, even though I brought everything that happened upon myself. So ended up graduating from Georgia Tech with a business administration degree. I'd ended up not going for biomedical engineering because I'm not doing that. So what I do plan on doing is going back to school once I'm done with football, whenever that may be. Hopefully it's 10, 15, 20 years down the line. And try to get into physical therapy once again, or pharmaceutical science once again. And I do want to go and get my physical trainer's degree so that during my off season I want to be able to give back to the youth and whatnot. So that's something I really want to work on as well. But ended up graduating from Georgia Tech, 2021, transferred to Arkansas in 2022, played there under Sam Pittman, and transferred from there to Colorado, and then went from Colorado. Another thing too, a huge thing is preparation. Like when it comes to preparation, you can never be too prepared. And I learned that the hard way at my pro day. I learned that at my pro day. I didn't take my preparation.
That's the time you don't want to.
So I took it serious, but there was so much more I could have done. And it's just looking back. It's not that I regret what I did, because I was doing great work. I don't regret what I did.
Oh, I've seen your film.
You feel me? I don't regret that at all.
I've seen
Like,
your film. But you know.
I know what I could have done more. You know, it's not that I wasn't working, but I know I could have done just a little bit more to be a little bit better in this category, a little bit better in that category. You know, and it's not that I regret it. I don't. Like what happened, you feel me? Like that was just
still part of your makeup and your journey, and you learn from it.
I was also dealing with some internal issues at the time as well, but those passed, and but ended up getting invited to Steelers Rookie Day minicamp. Went to that one.
My time.
Did all right, you know. Ended up not getting signed, so ended up coming back here to Lakeland. And 2 days after the rookie minicamp, I received a call from the Montreal Alouettes. And they had said, Coach Melvin, once again, was the one that helped me out with that. He was the one that put my name into the scouts' like mind and all that, sent them my film. Same day, they called me, hey, we want to sign you up here. You might as well come up here and play with us for the CFL. I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to try to use this opportunity, ball out in the CFL. If I'm able to, try to get back to the NFL. If not, I'd love to make a career out of the CFL, because it's still playing football at a high level. You're still playing professionally. And I just
making decent money.
I still got the passion. I still got the passion for it. I mean, it's good money, but like, I just want to ball at this point. I just want to be able to play football as long as I possibly can, do everything I can, leave it all on the field, because I know it's starting to approach me now. When you're done, you're done. And a lot of my boys that I went to college with that were raw, that I played with, are done. And I just see that, and I'm like, it's not that they regret it, but they tell me, man, if I was in your shoes, I'd play as long as I could. I wish I could do this. I wish I could do that. And so it's not just myself that I'm playing for when I'm talking about I'm playing in this next level. It's I'm playing for this dude. I'm playing for that dude. I'm playing for all the boys that support me back home. I'm playing for my family that supports me. It's so much more that you don't realize that is on your back. How many people truly look up to you, are inspired by you, are living through you, and you have to make sure that you put your best foot forward everywhere you go, or else you're not only doing yourself a disservice, you're doing everybody that supports you a disservice.
I love that you said that, because I had a dope experience. I was Ubering, and I was a high school kid within the area, and so he had to get his own Uber. Had a situation with his mom, and he was like, "Man, you know, mom was like, Mom tripping. I couldn't get the car, so I had to find my way to work." So we just chopping. I said, "Okay, yo, what's going on?" Like, you know, my dude was tripping. This, that, and third. But then, you know, we get to talking more. It's like, okay, you break it down. Okay, you going to school, but she wants you there at a certain time.
Yeah.
You know, and it's out of love because it's your last year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this your baby, and you're going to a school in Kansas, and so now she's trying to have much time as with
she
you to
can with
instill
you.
what she needs to instill. So he's going to be a D3 player, and he's a linebacker as well. But by the end of our conversation, he was like, how's your relationship with your mom? I said, she was an angel. I said, bro, she's dope. And I say this because coaches aren't just on the field. Those are everyday people.
Those
that
are
you run
everyday
into.
people in your
Oh,
life.
that's good.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
and if you listen to the coach that's in front of you,
Yeah.
yo, by the end of that car ride, he was like, man, I got to call my mom, bro. I got to apologize to her. I said, bro,
Wow.
all she wants you to do is don't get caught into getting mediocre. I said, bro, do what you need to do. Clean the house without being told. Be to school on time without being told. Like, be proactive so she don't have nothing to complain about.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I got his contact information to stand. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I say that to say this. Everything that you went through with all the experiences, how do you approach leadership now?
Oh, that's good. Well,
That's
how you
one-
led into that.
Leadership.
That's smooth. What?
Leadership is an interesting thing for me because you can ask anybody. When I was younger, when I was in Atlanta and all that, I never considered myself a leader. Like, you know, people hear, oh, you can lead by example, but if everybody's doing the same thing, you can't really lead by example. A true leader is not somebody that's only leading by example, but is also pulling others with them as they lead by example to become that next person. You have to be vocal as a leader. You have to be able to inspire others as a leader. You have to be able to motivate others as a leader. Because sometimes, you should motivate yourself, but sometimes you're going to need to get that extra push from somebody. And who's going to be that person who's going to give you that extra push? That person that you know at the end of the day is going to be standing with you down in the front lines. Like, you got to understand, if you want to be a leader, you have to be willing to do the little things. You got to be willing to sacrifice the little things. You got to be willing to, when everybody else has their hands on their hips, you tell them get them off. Yeah, people are going to get annoyed at you. You're going to get annoyed looks. But you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable in those kinds of situations. You got to be able to tell people, hey, come on, let's go. And you got to also understand a leader isn't just it's not all an oligarchy. You know, it's not only one person's in charge. A leader is somebody that motivates others to see his side of view, to be able to understand the right way of doing things, and to be able to demonstrate that to others. Being able to tell others, hey, this is how we do this. This is how we're going to move. This is what we need to do to be the team that we want to be. And seeing that now, I feel like I've really...
The B2S Podcast is brought to you by No Grind, No Glory Apparel, R828 edition. It's a reminder to stay strong, to be courageous, to starve your fears, and to feed your faith. Even when it feels like everything is falling apart, just know that you were born to stand out and make an impact. Head over exclusively to www.nogrindnoglory.net and grab you some merch as a daily reminder that all things work together.
I wouldn't say I've taken that leader role, so to speak, but I do feel like through my experiences and everything I do have the qualities of leadership.
You're still in the
And-
process.
Exactly.
What's been told to me is that I say you can't lead by example. But one thing that's been told to me is I was a leader everywhere I go, simply because of the way I played football and the way I carried and presented myself. It wasn't that I was the one that was, hey, rah, rah, like I'm going to talk to you before every game and we going to do this and that. But I was the one that if I had to, I'm going to come over there, hey, come on, get up, like, let's go. I'm not looking for recognition. I'm not looking for praise. I'm not looking for this, that, and the third. I'm just like, hey, we can do this. I'll look you in your eyes during a football game. Hey, we're good. Let's go. We pressing each other. I'm dog tired, dying just like you. You feel me? I'm over there ready to bend over. I'm hunched over. I see my old boy hunched over. Oh, he hunched over? Yeah. I gotta get up. Yeah, come on. We good, you know?
Help.
But it's just that thing where it's like, if you can motivate somebody else, you can motivate yourself. And a lot of people don't understand leadership comes from being able to make plays. And you can only make plays if you're good at your craft. You can only be good at your craft if you practice your craft. You can only practice your craft if you're eligible. You can only be eligible if you do your schoolwork. Everything comes back full circle. Everything goes from the process of school to athletic to social life, and it's just a circle all around. It's just how you present yourself, how you carry yourself, how you do your things, you know?
Yeah.
And that's just one thing that a lot of people need to understand and really get into their heads is like, you're not born a leader. You're not made a leader. You build yourself up to become a leader. And that's from learning through other leaders or just learning through life experience yourself. And that's why I say, like, I feel like I was a leader at Georgia Tech, not because of the things I did, not because of what I said, but because of how I played. I would play with relentless energy. You could always tell when I'm out there, I'm giving my 110%. And I felt like I was a catalyst for our team. I wasn't the one that, well, I was the one that could be in clutch plays. I'd do something. But I'd be the catalyst where, like, I'm going to go make a play now or never. And when I make a play, you going to make a play. When you make a play, he going to make a play. And we just going to keep it going from there. So somebody has to be that catalyst. Somebody's got to start the party. And I feel like I'm that person that does it.
That's good, because I always say there's 3 types of leaders. You got the vocal leader, you got the person that leads by example, and then you got the person that do both. And they're all 3 needed in different facets. It goes back to when we were talking about the coach situation. You got to know how to do, and that's what I used to always say when I was out there. Because I've been blessed, that some of the guys, they actually allow me to speak into their life, and I tell them that because Armadale is different, though. It's different. When I first got out there, and before Tracy had made the Hall of Fame, before it became Tracy McGrady Gym, they had Inspiring Greatness, and it's still their thing. So when God sent me there, I was like, I'm in the right spot. Because it was like motivation all around. It's like it wasn't the perfect school, but you can see the motivation from different coaches and administrative staff. And then when certain coaches came out there trying to do things a certain way that wasn't productive, I was able to put them to the side. I was like, listen, these kids don't respond to that. I said, I've been out here X amount of years. I don't know everything, but one thing I do know, that there's a certain type of caliber of a kid that comes here to Armadale High School. And they're not they're not the saying that they perfect or whatever, because they get into trouble just like every other kid. But the atmosphere that is produced out there is that of inspiration. So if you come out there with something other than that, even if you're coming out there with the rah-rah, you're going to lose them. You're gonna lose them, and so when you mix that up as far as like that standpoint, then that's where you get the greatness of the team. And so how do we equate that to like people that are not dealing with football? He said he's unpacked a whole lot, and I'm actually a part of the SAC committee at Lake Region. So, and it's funny we're talking about this because when you said that listening to the coach in your life, it ain't just got to be an athletic coach, but listen to the person that God is using to pour into your life at that moment. Each month we have a meeting at the end of the month. So I'm part of the committee that approves budgets for certain stuff. So in each month they have a different part of the school department that comes in to share what they do, and so this morning it was JROTC. So the young gentleman that's over the JROTC, he doesn't just focus on the ROTC students. Anybody that needs help trying to go to the next level, looking for scholarship to do whatever, he makes himself available. I said, wow. And this one particular young lady told her story. This young lady has over $1 million worth of scholarships right now. Dang. And she's only in ROTC because of the leadership from the teacher. Because he invested in her and as far as giving her certain direction. When she came into his space, and he ended up talking not only to her but other kids that come through that program, and they're able to go to school to the next level because of. But her thing was because I listened to his advice. She said I wouldn't be here today without him. Had this wasn't even on her radar. It was some type of scholarship dealing with the Marines, and this particular scholarships very few kids get. Yeah, and she's actually gotten that. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like when I'm listening to your story, man, I'm looking at your makeup. It's like regardless of where you were emotionally, where you were athletically, there was a support group whether even if it was just that one coach that has always kept you accountable, but it is understood where you were at the point. Because I remember you said something about sometimes I'm just putting it in my own words, just like you was in survival mode before you could get to the place where you was thriving. You was just trying to survive where you were. And I think sometimes success is about transition. You know what I'm saying? Can you transition from this level to the next level, but it's a makeup of a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So no matter whether it's your career, your job, your relationship with your kids, your spouse, or anything like that, it's the same thing. It's principle. As you're listening to this young man that had a very prominent football career, and you're listening at like I tell y'all all the time, I'm a principle guy. This man laid out a lot of principles for you guys to follow if you just listen to his story. You know what I'm saying? And I got to go there, dude. I got to go there before I forget. I know, and I'm not rushing because we got all the time we want because it's our platform.
You know I love podcast.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is gonna be split. You know, this is gonna be split. It's gonna be it gonna be split into two.
This has
different
been
parts.
good.
It's been really good, and I'm glad you was able to come on and tell your story. And we're not done, but just thank you for coming on, man. And but it's just listening to everything that you've said, man, is a lot of things that we've stood for, that we stand for, and continue to pour into. And I really want, because I'm definitely gonna get this to coaches. Like, listen, make sure these kids watch this, because I feel like we got something special this year, and the pressure is on, in a sense, because it's Coach Thomas' second year, but it's not. It is, but it ain't. If you understand what I'm saying. But looking at the cohesiveness of this particular group of kids, it's different. And a lot of the stuff that we're telling them is the same. But when you coming from somebody, I didn't play college football. I didn't have a desire to play college football. We were both raised by our mom and dad as well. They created an environment with us. We didn't know nothing about no hood. We grew up in the hood, didn't even know it because everybody took care of each other back then.
Exactly.
If somebody got shot, stabbed, or killed, it was far few and in between. It happened every now and again. As we got older, things kind of started acting a little crazier. But man, we didn't know nothing about no hood. We understand our parents, just like Baby Boy. I always use that example when he sat in that on the floor. I don't know if you saw the movie.
Baby what?
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay, I thought I was gonna have to revoke your black card.
Come on. Come on now.
with
I'm young, but I ain't that young. Like,
hey, like you feel me? But you went behind the ears. When Snoop got out of jail and that little boy, and I can see that within your story, with your parents and coaches and not just athletic coaches, but people that are of influence. When that little boy, when Snoop came in there and took over that household, he took the cardboard and made a fort. Now, to him, that fort was his protection, even though he just kicked it over. But he was able to make his own environment within an environment. Yeah,
I was trying not to laugh. What you thought when I thought? You don't care about your fort, cuz. That's what he said.
Right.
With his foot.
Hey, Jit was violated. Boy.
that was crazy.
Yeah, he violated him real big. So sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you may be holding on to a job that you got to rely on the payment for, because if you don't, you might be on the street. So you just got to think about that. Create a fort for yourself until you're able to do better for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But yeah, I gotta. We gotta. You got anything else you want to share before I want to shift to Colorado? Right. You want to add anything? I'm not gonna. Like I told you, this your story, so I don't want to.
No, it's up to y'all, man. I feel like I've talked a lot about Georgia Tech.
Cause Deion, my dude, man. I've been a Deion fan because he
baby.
Dude was just different.
Yeah.
Like dude was just different.
Those prime is definitely different. I'll give you that.
Yes. There's a couple times where I've been actually mentored by people that have been actually hands-on trained with ET. Mm-hmm. So, but I've actually had the opportunity to hear him speak and be in his events, and maybe 3 times, I think. Mm-hmm. Me and him went to Atlanta.
Yeah.
To his first men's conference. He had Deion on the platform. Mm-hmm. bro, Dion shut it down. I say they were smart by putting him last because believe it or not, as big as ET is, once Dion got through speaking, people started leaving.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
But
I'm not surprised.
he shut it
He
down.
carries himself in that sort of light. He has that kind of energy.
He shifted the whole church.
Insane.
The whole
Dude, there was a dude in front of me. It's like when he started, cause he started, but then he just like when he hit like a vein in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And the whole atmosphere just shifted. Like if you have any type of spiritual atmospheric discernment, you felt it. And me and him were just talking about, I was like, oh, you felt that? I said, boy, the whole atmosphere, dude in front of me turned around. He was like, bro, you felt that too? Like, I'm like, literally, like, dude in front of me, like, we all talking. We like, man, we just eat it up. Like, he shifted the whole atmosphere in like 2 minutes.
It's different. It can
He
definitely
different,
be
dog.
different. So being able to be in the same room as him a lot of days, it definitely, you can tell when he talks, he wants to provide an impact for us. And my whole story with that is actually pretty funny too. So ended up, I was transferring from Georgia Tech, and I had taken an official visit out to Jackson State. And I enjoyed my time out there. The crazy thing, my mom was from Mississippi. My brother goes to Mississippi State. You know, my mom was actually a sorority sister of one of the people that worked there. So she was up there just chatting, having the time of her life with them, you know, just
It's almost like a GT moment.
man, just catching up with the family and everything. Like, so we have a lot of family out in Jackson, Mississippi too. So we were just, it was a whole lot. So it was a broader pressure to, when I wanted to go there. I did want to go there, but I ended up saying to myself, I want to test myself at the SEC level. I went to Arkansas, played pretty well out there, and then I felt like God called me to transfer one last time. I was like, you know what? I feel like the best thing for me to do is hit the transfer portal one more time. And it worked out for me. I was able to go to Colorado. Once I hit the portal, they hit me up like, hey, remember us? I was like, of course. They were like, you ready to come home? I was like, yeah.
Wow.
yeah. So it was definitely a great experience playing at both Arkansas and Colorado. And I learned a lot of things about myself at both schools. Colorado, though, I will say they did have a lot of NFL talent. Just coaching. The coaching expertise was phenomenal. Over 200 years of coaching expertise at Colorado at both high school, college, D1, D2, NFL level. Like, they had Dennis Thurman. They had Coach David Kelly. They had Trevor. They had Coach Prime. They had, who was it? Oh, Coach Nick Williams, my defensive line coach. We had Coach Gabe, great DB coach that came into our room and helped us learn on our pass drops as defensive ends. So they were trying to make us multi-dimensional. We weren't just rushing the ball. Now we can drop into coverage. We can hang with running backs. We can hang with, you know, the slower, like, wide receivers or on like little hook routes or anything like that. That was our main goal. That was our thing to do. And just being able to use all those guys as a resource to be able to learn exactly what I need to learn from them to become a better football player. It was so much knowledge in that building that every day, if you didn't learn something new, then that was on you and you failed yourself at that point. And being under Coach Prime, he was definitely, everything you see on TV is the man he is. Like, he doesn't sugarcoat it. He's that same person. And he's going to tell you exactly what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. He's going to tell you what you need to hear, how to really better yourself. And it might not be delivered the way you want it, but that's how it's going to be delivered. He's not going to sugarcoat it for you. He's not going to tell you. He's going to tell you straight up the real deal. This is what you need to do. And he cares about his players. A lot of people that ended up having to leave or whatnot, it wasn't that he didn't care about them. And that was a lot of like speculation. It's not that he didn't care about them. He cared a bunch about those players. But it was the simple fact that he wanted to bring in players that had a winning mentality, that had a winning mindset. You can't just teach that overnight. You need to be able to bring that. And if you're not willing to bring that to you, he wanted dogs out there. He wanted people that were willing to play, that were willing to give their body on the line. And he had that. And our first year, it didn't work out the way we wanted it to. We finished 4-8. But that second year, you notice they switched up to a 9-win team. And four of our wide receivers were drafted this year. Shador was drafted. Travis was drafted. We have a bunch of other players in camps. They've been signed as undrafted free agents. They have a lot of Colorado boys everywhere. And it's amazing just to be able to see the amount of success that Coach Prime, Shador, Travis, everybody was able to bring to Colorado. And it's not just changed the scape of football itself, but it's changed Colorado as a whole. The revenue in Colorado has increased exponentially. The amount of player support, fan support has increased exponentially. Everything like football, college football is being watched again a lot more because of not just Coach Prime, but the other coaches in the league that are also adding fuel to the flame. You know, one thing that was huge for us was when we played Oregon, Coach Dan Lanning, my year, although it wasn't our best game, there was so much hype and just things around it. We came into the game, we didn't play the way we wanted to play, and they just had our number that game. But you could tell the entire atmosphere was shifted. Like everybody had it out for Colorado. You either loved us or hated us, and that's what it was.
Y'all had a big target on y'all back.
We did, but definitely, and I feel like I've said it before, I'll say it again. The people that I was playing with are legends in the making, and you saw that through this past draft with Travis Hunter going second overall. Shador had a slide, but I feel like he's still going to be the starting quarterback over there. Like, that's me. That's how I feel. He's a great quarterback. He's a great player. Jimmy Horn, he's going to be great with the Carolina Panthers. LeJontay Wester, I believe. Not LeJontay. Well, I know Wester. He's over there with the Bucks, I believe. Shiloh's with the Bucks right now. Cameron Silman Craig, he's with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I've seen a lot of my boys get a lot of success just off of seeing just all eyes are on them. You know, people see them, people watch them play. They carry themselves in the way that NFL players are supposed to carry themselves. They carry themselves as professional athletes. And them being able to get their opportunity, their shot into the NFL, I love it for them and I see it and it's just amazing. Just to be able to say, hey, I played with them, you know. I played, like I went over there. I can show you pictures on my phone right now, just like us just working out, just hanging out, just a bunch of things. And it's just like, it's an amazing experience to be able to play at Colorado. It was honestly a 10 out of 10 experience. A lot of people ask me, and this is one thing I do get, a lot of people ask me, do I regret not making it to the NFL right now? No.
Man, you was reading my mind. I was about to
ask that question. He did this several times. I had to regress the questions because he answered.
Do I regret not making it to the NFL? No, I don't. And here's the reason I say it, because I'm still working to get back to the NFL. I still feel like I have an opportunity, a challenge. It's just another challenge I got to face to be able to get back there. And I had my taste of it with the Steelers for a couple days. I felt like I did all right in camp, but now that's why I came home. I wanted to grind this entire offseason with Coach Mel. We were in there. We were doing a whole bunch of things. I was doing a lot this offseason. I was training 3-4 times a day. I would go play basketball in the mornings, came back, had a weightlifting workout, would go run the hills with Coach Mel. I had Taekwondo classes that helped me with flexibility, stretching, and I used to do that as a while. Just to let y'all know, I am a 3rd-degree black belt, just to let y'all know. Hey, I do fight.
Try it if you want to.
You won't.
You might want to think twice.
But no, there was just a lot of things that I wanted to do, and definitely I feel the difference, and now I feel like I'm ready to go back to Canada and take it on with a vengeance. I feel like the training that we've done this offseason will allow me to have future success in the Canadian Football League. And even if I don't make it back to the NFL, which is the plan, but whatever happens, happens. You know, it's all in God's hands. And if I don't make it back to the NFL, I would love to make a career out of it in the CFL. Montreal is beautiful. I would love to see all of Canada. I would love to go beat every team in Canada. I would love to win a Grey Cup. You know, I would love to break the records out there. I would love to do so much more than just the NFL. And obviously, I love the NFL. I want to get back. That is the dream of every football player, every athlete, you know, ever. But I don't regret what my journey has taken me through. I don't regret everything that I've done. I don't regret the choices I've made. The only thing I will say I do regret is not networking. Not taking the opportunities in college to not just know my team. Well, I know my teammates. I have a lot of good friends and everything. But not just my teammates, the people outside of my team. The people I was grouped up with in projects during school. The people at Georgia Tech that are right now making $1.2 million, making 6-figure salaries their first year out. And that I could honestly have networked with, and we could have started something. We could have, you know, had that connection, that series, and that's another thing.
But bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. You don't even really have to regret that because that's still tangible. That's continuous.
Exactly, and that's why I'm saying I don't regret it. The reason I say I regret it is because I wish I had heard this advice when I was younger.
And you did it.
And I wish I knew in the moment to network with these people.
Yeah.
Because once you're in college, they say it goes by fast, and it does. It goes by slow, but it goes by fast at the same time. And being able to understand, hey, this person right here next to you could be the next CEO of a large corporation that they build. This person next to you could be the next great doctor that wins the Nobel Peace Prize. This great person next to you, I remember I was in class with a Georgia Tech baseball player that ended up going to the he was in the MLB for the longest, signed like a large contract. I wish I remembered his name right now, but he was a Hall of Famer in the MLB. And he would come to class like once every Tuesday or whatever, and just give us life advice. And he would be in the class, and he was learning online as well. He would come in and learn online. He would show up, and it was just, his thirst for knowledge was insane. He was a great MLB player. He could retire and never have to worry about money a day in his life. But the fact that he's going back to school and just learning more about the business aspect of it, just so he can make more, not even make more money, but just do something he's more passionate about. He's still passionate about the business aspect side of things. So he wants to go in, I believe it was like, he wanted to be a general manager or something like that. I can't remember. And I hate that I can't remember. But I wish I had been able to network with him and just got his advice and his tips, because he gave us great tips, but I know he has so much more. He had a wealth of knowledge that I could have tapped into. And that was just with everybody. So I say I regret it because I wish I knew beforehand. I wish I had taken full advantage of that opportunity. But it's not something I regret that, like, dang, I wish I could go back and change. Like, I wouldn't change it.
No.
But it's definitely something I wish I had known beforehand.
In which now you have the ability to do that while you're in Canada. I had an engagement. I spoke to Polk Collegiate a couple weeks ago, right? And this young gentleman comes in after everybody had pretty much came in and settled down before we got started. And he stuck out like a sore thumb. I mean, he was a redhead, and then he came in with a shirt and tie. So, and he was tall. So, but I'm like, then the first thing, I ain't gonna lie, the first thing that came to my mind when I saw him, I was like, Mark Zuckerberg. That's the first thing that came to my mind, right? So, end up going to the store on my way home that night, and I get a tap on the shoulder, and it was him. So then I had the opportunity to talk to him for a few minutes. So that kid was 18 years old. It works for a financial firm here in Polk County at 18. Was his, and I was like, what? I was like, what? Man, that's dope. And then he was telling me like his goals and his plan. But he started a lawn service business at the age of 12. Started a lawn service business. So his dad runs the lawn service business during the week, and while he's in school, and he runs it on the weekend.
That's insane.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And that's the thing about networking. You never know who you can meet, who you could talk to. Just know that everybody has a different path, a different story. And I'm going to have to end it off on this, because this is the last thing I'm going to say, because I got to work tonight. Yeah. But no, I'll definitely end it on this. As an athlete, don't get upset when your football journey begins or your football journey ends, because that's just when your life journey really begins. And you have to understand, we're not telling you to have a plan B, because in case your football career doesn't work out. We're telling you to have a plan B in case it does. Because once you're done with football, you still gonna have the back 70 years of your life. You average and done. Say I play until I'm 35, so another 10 years. What am I gonna do from 35 to 70, 75, 80, 85? What am I gonna do? I need to figure out what I wanna do with the back end of my life. So we're not telling you have a plan B in case football doesn't work out. It's nice to have that plan B in case football doesn't work out, but also have that plan B in case it does, because you never know what you want to do with the back end of your life. And you always want to have a way to not only make income, but also be social, be interactive, be able to get out there and show the world the kind of person that you are. Be an influence, pass along the knowledge that you have, that you gain from others to others. Pass along what you know to the people that support you. Support the people that you know need to be supported. and just have everybody understand that everybody in your circle that truly does support you and wants the best for you, reach back and give them a hand if they need it. Don't be taken advantage of, but definitely reach back and give back to the community that you come from. Give back to everything that anybody that supported you. Make sure that you know that they're appreciated. Make sure you know that they're loved. Make sure you understand that you're supported, you're loved. Understand who your support system is and lean on them just as much as they lean on you. Because you never know what you're going to go through. And if you have that support system with you, that's it. You're good.
He ain't never lied.
Man, that's dope. Man, it's been a joy having you on, man. And we're not done because, man, you got to chop it up before you leave
For sure.
a little bit. So, but just remember, man, we're going to chop this episode into 2 different episodes. So this will be a part 1 and a part 2. So make sure y'all check it out, man. And I think
Hopefully we can get a part 3 when I come back on a bye week. Something like that.
man, yeah, we got
I got a lot. We got a lot to talk
a lot
about.
to unpack, man.
Family, so.
Yeah, we got a lot to unpack, man. You know what I'm saying? So y'all both said something. I think that's what I'm gonna title it: compound interest. Yeah. So I don't know. So I was like, both of y'all said it at the same time. I mean, I can't wait to chop this up. I love it, man. I love impact, man. It's like one of the things that I've when I follow David Shands a lot with podcasting and stuff like that, and just a couple other people. And my thing like this, sometimes that you can get so caught up with the followers and how many people watch. I'm like, for what? If your desire is to start a podcast, I don't care if one person listening. Exactly. That's a burning desire for something. So at the end of the day, man, we just enjoy the impact. So, man, once again, man, we gonna chop this up. And we thank y'all for tuning in on tonight, man. Y'all know how we like to leave because, we got to get him up out of here. And so, but y'all know how we like to leave out of here, man. Blueprint Nation. So shoot for the top because the bottom is way too crowded. And if you think different and be different, you'll have the opportunity to live different. And once again, we'll see you on the other side of success. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.